the News Channel 5 network, this is MorningLine with Nick Barris.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. MorningLine on this Monday, and you're seeing video right now of just the horrendous scene in Las Vegas from overnight. The cell phone video, the news camera video of what is now the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history. Just a devastating scene there. We're going to be talking about that this morning. I'm going Facebook Live, by the way, on my Facebook page at the same time. We're going to do this simultaneously. I apologize for the bright lights behind me there, but this is actually in studio. I've just set that up to get your questions and comments. If you'd like to join me, Nick Barris, NC5 on Facebook. But of course, we'll get the phone line up there, 737-7587. All morning long, I've been monitoring the very latest out of Las Vegas in the newsroom. Want your take and thoughts on it. Dan Kennedy, our reporter, is going to be joining us as well to get some of the local reaction. As you know, this shooting happened last night. This was in Las Vegas. This was a situation where there was a music festival, a country music festival going on around 10 o'clock in the evening. Jason Aldean was on stage when all of a sudden the 20,000 plus folks who were in attendance there, this is a grassy field there just off of the Strip along where all those big fancy hotels are. All of a sudden they hear what sounds like firecrackers. Next thing you know, people start falling down, they're shot, they're bleeding, and a spray of bullets comes from the nearby hotel. Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino just across the street, the 32nd floor, a room there, and here again you're looking at video right now from the location. The Strip is entirely shut down. My understanding is law enforcement immediately became aware of the situation, knew the bullets were coming from Mandalay Bay. How did they locate the room? The smoke detector went off from inside this room from all of the smoke that came from the rapid fire of what appears to have been a semi-automatic weapon. They went up there. They had to use an explosive to gain entry to the room, which was barricaded. Inside, they found 64-year-old Stephen Paddock. Okay, Stephen Paddock had an arsenal of weapons with him. They shot and killed him there at the scene. Paddock, as I said, 64 years old. This guy is from Mesquite, Nevada, where he lived in a retirement community, okay? One of those high-end, nice retirement communities. They have since located his wife, and she is being questioned at this hour for her involvement. There were reports from folks there at the scene saying that it appeared as though there was a woman near the front row of the concert turning to everyone saying, "You're going to die tonight, you're going to die tonight." We're wondering if perhaps that was his wife and she was down there telling him that. We don't know yet, but she's in custody. It sounds to me, people are asking me here on Facebook, he killed himself. Did he kill himself? My understanding is law enforcement shot and killed him once they gained entry to the room. So the situation, again, more than 20,000 people there, all right? The tally right now, at least 50 dead, 400 injured. Now, how many of those 400 are actually hit by gunshots? How many of them maybe were injured in the stampede that happened afterwards as people were running for their lives? We don't know. The hospitals there in Las Vegas overrun right now with patients. It's to the point right now where they've got everyone in a place where they need to be, but the triage and the emergency needs and the blood and everything right now, it's a very fluid situation over there as they continue to try to get medical aid to everyone who was shot there. This is just, folks, terrifying. And I think to myself, how do you prevent something like this? This individual going on this rampage and shooting from that hotel room had to know he was going to die. There was no end game for him where he survived. So if you have a madman with an arsenal of weapons who gets to a location and can set up shop up there and just indiscriminately start firing with an automatic weapon, how do you stop it? You really cannot. I mean, to what level of security? I mean, I don't think the hotel has metal detectors. If someone's willing to give their lives to do something like this, I mean, it's hard to believe. Some of you are reporting that he may have indeed killed himself. That may be the case. All I know is he ended up dying once they gained entry to the room, and maybe he did. Most of these guys, they're cowards. They're shooting, and once law enforcement shows up, they just shoot and kill themselves. Yes, cowards. This guy's a coward. He's up there on the 32nd floor shooting indiscriminately at innocent people at a concert. A coward with a capital C. Who knows what his motive is at this point? But the scary part about this, and I was just talking about how you can't prevent it, think about here in Nashville, and there's going to be all kinds of local stories we do here as well. And this hit home for us close because Jason Aldean and others are from this area, country music. There were who knows how many fans that were out there for the concert from there. You know, the same thing. I was just thinking back to the Predators' historic run for the Stanley Cup and the crowd we had downtown for that, or for any other number of events downtown on 2nd and Broad. If a lunatic gets up on a roof somewhere or gets into a hotel and decides to do the same type of thing, how do you stop it? That's one of the questions we're going to be asking law enforcement and others today. Intelligence, how do you know? As far as we know at this point, they're not saying this is an act of domestic terrorism at this point. They're not saying yet that this guy's affiliated with anything that might be related to terrorism. We don't know what the motivations are for him right now. Was he a veteran? That might explain the ability to handle those types of weapons and know how to use them. And they still have not released the type of weapons yet that were used, but we know that they found an arsenal in the room when they finally gained entry to that location. Who knows? Maybe they'll find more when they talk to the wife. Again, this was the woman, Mary Lou Danley, believed to be his wife, is in custody and being questioned at this hour. But again, folks, 200 to 400 injured, and some of them critically. The death toll right now at around 50. You expect that to go higher. The sad fact is this now at 50 becomes the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history. We've had the two most deadly in the past couple of years. Just last year, the Orlando nightclub shooting left 49 dead. This now, at least 50 dead. Scary stuff. All right, let's take some phone calls, and I'll comment on many of you who are following me right now here on Facebook Live, your thoughts along those lines. And we'll go to Joe. Joe, good morning.
Good morning, Nick.
Hey, Joe, go ahead.
Man, I tell you, this is a tragedy in the greatest extent. We've got some real problems here, and I don't know the answer to it, but evidently we've got a lot of people that, I guess, with mental problems or something. I don't know what the reason for it was, but this is getting to be too regular.
Well,
we're getting to have these problems too regular.
And I guess you're referring worldwide, though. Joe, it's not just in this country. Obviously, we had this one, and we had the one last. Right here in Nashville 2 weeks ago in Antioch, we had the church shooting. Okay, so a much smaller scale than this, of course, but that horrible situation at the Antioch church. And then you had the one at the movie theater where an individual came in with a knife and was attacking people a couple of years ago. These things happen, and then overseas we see this happen, Joe. And there's not a template. One thing, Joe, they're saying about this individual here that was shot and killed, who was responsible, they're saying, Stephen Paddock, he doesn't fit the actual profile. I was actually surprised. I mean, this is looked like an elderly, 64, not that old, 64-year-old Caucasian male. I saw a picture of him on the air just before I came up here. Doesn't fit the so-called profile of some of these lunatic killers, does he?
No, he doesn't. And that's the strange part about it is what is going through these people's minds to want to do something like this. It's mind-boggling that anybody would want to.
You cannot prescribe logic to this. By the way, I see Philip is texting me or messaging me saying that a man from Paris, Tennessee was killed last night. This one hits very close to home. Philip, if you have any more details on that, because we are looking for some local connections, and that's tragic if it's true, would you mind, messaging me here on my Facebook page, Philip, if we can get some details on whether or not there are other individuals that were here from Nashville or Middle Tennessee that were there in Vegas last night. I hope they're safe, but he's saying that there was an individual from Paris, Tennessee that may have been killed last night. If that's true, Philip or any of you others who maybe know that, please message me. And again, the reports coming in now more, it looks as though this individual may indeed have taken his own life, which I certainly believe. Likely moments after law enforcement gained entry into his room, coward that he is, he turns the gun on himself and shoots himself. Okay, so that's the way that's played out as far as we know. I'll continue to get updates, and many of you are updating me right now. We're Facebook Live on my Facebook page, Nick Barris NC5. Your thought on that? Again, too, yeah, you're wondering about the weaponry. That's something they're going to be looking into. I know they're searching his home in Mesquite, Nevada, where he was in a retirement community. Where did he get these guns? What type of guns did he have? All of that is stuff that will be investigated. They think he was a lone wolf shooter, though they are questioning his wife and what she may or may not have known, but they don't believe anyone else was involved in the shooting, though you wonder if there were accomplices that helped him get the gun, or if there were other people that knew about this that didn't say anything. And if that's the case, they're as guilty as he is. If you knew he was going to do this and look the other way and let him go, you're as guilty as he is. But yes, absolute coward. You're right, Miranda. These had to be rifles. Who else do we have? Who's next, Mary? Hey, Marshall.
Hey, Nick. How
Hey,
you doing, buddy?
go ahead. What's on your mind?
Oh, man, hey, he's a coward, as you said, you know, and if anybody wants to pull a trigger, kill somebody, go ahead and kill yourself. Why you want to kill somebody you don't even know? And what I want to say too, Nick,
Yeah, I hear you. Go ahead.
okay, hey, I went to the Ryman Friday.
Yeah.
And I went in to see Boss Skaggs, and when I went in, it ain't their fault, but I told the security lady, I said, I'm going to go off anyway, and walk through it. I said, I got an artificial leg. And she didn't even look at my leg or nothing. She just waved me right on through. You know what? I looked at the girl that was with me. I said, hell, I could have carried a gun in here. I said, you know.
Well, how much are they supposed to go? And you're a trustworthy guy. Maybe they thought it, they looked it, but what are they supposed to do? Someone like you comes in, take off your leg and look in it? I mean, you shouldn't have to go through that, but nowadays, security, you wonder, are we going to have metal detectors at concerts? Are you going to have metal detectors at hotels before you get in? Are you going to be frisked? Is it going to be like getting on an airplane? And as far as this individual, why does someone do this? I'm with you, Marshall. I don't know how you answer the question behind why Stephen Paddock did this, but what concerns me is that, and frankly, you know what? His picture and name will be out there maybe just today, and then I hope we just forget him. Because I worry that one of his things was, you know what? I'm going to commit a massacre, and then I'm going to have the largest massacre in U.S. history, and my name will be known, and I'll become infamous and all those. You know? We use his name now because we need to track him down. We need to get his picture out there in case people recognize him who can help with the investigation. But short of that, I'm done using his name. I'm done showing his face. He needs to be forgotten. Just the cowardly scum that he is. And that's end of story with him after the investigation. I don't think we ever need to use his name or his picture ever again after we get that out there to perhaps help with the investigation. But that's my feeling. You know, you want to become famous by committing a mass murder? That's not going to happen, at least not on my watch, on my stories. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more of your phone calls and more of your comments, as many of you are following right now on Facebook Live as well. Go to that there, Nick Barris NC5. We'll see what we can get with you. All right, we'll be back right after this.